Fantastic. So hopefully you're all able to see a little tour of our Canterbury campus. Later on in the presentation at the end, we'll show you a little tour of our Medway campus as well. But today we're here to discuss results 2020, everything that's been happening over the past week, what the University of Kent is doing about it, a little bit about clearing, and also a little bit about the University of Kent, what we're doing in terms of making sure you're safe when you start in September, or if you decide to start with us in September. So just before we get started and I go through a little bit about our processes and everything we've got going on, I just want to say that you can ask questions throughout the webinar. You should have a questions tab in your control panel to your right. And if you type a question in there, we'll come to those at the end, or my colleague Wes, who's on the line as well. Say hello, Wes.
Hello, hello.
Great, so Wes can answer your questions throughout if you just pop those in there. So let's get started. So I just wanted to address, first of all, what's been happening this kind of week with all the U-turns and everything in the news about your improved centre assessed grades or your revised grades. If you are here in the UK, you will know that this has been coming out in the news. And we're just going to tell you what we're doing about that and what you need to do if you're in that situation where you've had an improved centre assessed grade. Or they're now being known as revised grades. So if you hear that terminology, that's what we're referring to. So if you've already applied to Kent, we are honouring students who had Kent as their firm choice and were made unsuccessful with their awarded grades, but now they've got new improved centre assessed grades or revised grades. Also, if you had Kent as your insurance choice and you've been made unsuccessful with your new grades at your firm institution, again, do contact us and see what we'll be able to do. If this is you, if you have applied to us before and you were made unsuccessful, please do get in touch. We need you to get in touch with us for us to kind of analyse your situation again, for us to be able to see whether we'll be able to accept you with your new grades. So just email us at admissions@kent.ac.uk. If you've got your centre assessed grades or your revised grades or your teacher awarded grades, whatever you've been referring to them as, then do email those in as well. And we'll double check those against the conditions that we asked for you originally. If you're worried about this, if you're not quite sure what to do give our hotline a ring on 01227 768 896. So they'll be able to help you. But we are trying to be as flexible as possible. So if you've applied to us before, please do get in touch and we'll see what we can do. We'll have a look at your personal situation and we'll do our best to advise you in the best direction. If you haven't already applied to Kent, you can still apply to us. We're still clearing vacancies. So just all you need to do is just go online and you can see all our vacancies on there. You can click apply and you can apply with your new grades, your revised grades on there, and we will analyse your application and we'll come back to you with an answer. Here again is the number for the hotline. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about clearing and how it works now. So there may be some of you which are holding an offer with another institution and get to apply to Kent. You can still do that through clearing, or you may well like to apply through, maybe you've not applied to anywhere yet, you'd like to apply through clearing, you can still do that. But do give the hotline a ring if you have any questions. We're open 8 AM to 8 PM today and tomorrow, and next week we're open, I think it's 8 AM till 6 PM. There are different people, as I mentioned, who apply through clearing. So you've got the traditional clearing applicant who hasn't quite met those grades for their firm and their insurance choice. So they've been made unsuccessful with them and they have been released into clearing and they need to apply to us through that. Some people, as I mentioned, are direct applicants. This means that you didn't apply before to university, but you've just decided now that you'd like to come to university. That's absolutely fine too. We'd definitely be interested in seeing your application. We've also got mind changers, who, so potentially you were made firm with another institution with your awarded grades, but now you've got your new centre assessed grades or your revised grades, and you'd like to apply to us now. And you can still do that by clearing, and you can use those revised grades that you've got. So how does it actually work if you want to apply through clearing? First of all, we suggest you speak to someone, speak to a parent or a school college advisor, just to make sure you're making the right choice for you, that you've had a look at different courses and subjects, you've made sure this is exactly what you want to do. Once you've done that, you just need to go on our Kent website, so kent.ac.uk/clearing. On there, you'll be able to search all of our different vacancies, the ones that we have available to you, and you'll be able to apply directly through our website. On there, you'll have to put your either your revised grades if they've been improved from your awarded grades, or your awarded grades if they weren't improved with the centre assessed grades. Hopefully that makes sense. I know it's a bit confusing, but do ask questions if you have any, and we'll come back to them at the end. Once you've submitted all your qualifications, your personal details, everything like that, make sure if you want accommodation on campus that you click yes. There's a yes or no answer on the application for you to click there. And then once you've submitted it, we will review your application and we'll come back to you as soon as we can. We've got offer makers going through these applications and we're trying to get back to you as fast as possible. Whilst you're waiting, do have a look at our virtual tours. So we've shown you one of them today at the start of this webinar, but we've got plenty of other resources available at kent.ac.uk/virtual visit. We know it's really difficult because obviously it's more inaccessible to come and look at campus in real life. We've tried to make it as easy as possible for you to have a look online. Finally, once we come back to you with an offer, what you'll need to do is log on to your Kent. That's our applicant portal. Once you're on there, you'll have to accept your offer and make it firm, so you've definitely got that place. And then you'll need to submit your clearing on UCAS Track. So you need to go to track.ucas.com, and then you should be able to add your clearing choice and make sure you choose us as your institution and select the correct course code. If you've got any queries about that, you're welcome to give us a ring as well. We're a really friendly bunch. You can ring us and we'll help you, talk you through the process of what you need to do to apply through clearing. But that's basically the process. Hopefully I explained that well enough, but if you have got any questions about how that works for the University of Kent, do pop those in the questions tab. I just want to cover as well, whilst we're here, whilst we've got you listening to us, why Kent? Why come to us? Now, I know it's been quite a difficult situation over the past week in terms of the U-turn with the government and everything like that. And at Kent, we just want to make sure that you know that we're really flexible and that also we've got 2 different campuses, and both campuses we have got things in place to make it as safe as possible for you. So we've got our Medway campus and our Canterbury campus. The Canterbury campus is the slightly bigger of the 2. That's where lots of our different subjects are. And then the Medway campus is slightly smaller, but there's other universities that have their campus based there. So you can see in the pictures that you can see on the screen there that they look kind of a similar size. And that's because other universities collaborate with us on the Medway campus. There's a 50-minute shuttle that goes between the 2, so you can have access to both campuses. But as you can see in the photographs, they are absolutely beautiful campuses. The Medway campus right by the River Medway, and there's some green spaces around there, plenty of country parks that you can get access to in the Medway area. And the Canterbury campus is set in Parkland, so it's absolutely perfect for social distancing and everything like that. So our campuses are a massive selling point for us, and it's definitely worth considering Kent if you're looking for somewhere with a bit more space. Another fantastic reason to apply to us through clearing is our guaranteed accommodation. So at the moment, if you apply to us now, we are guaranteeing you accommodation for September. If you want to have a look at our accommodation, you just need to go on our website and you can do, again, you can have a look in the rooms, all of the rooms, have a look at what kind of accommodation that you would be allocated through clearing. We also have, new this year, a free sports membership. So this is for first year undergraduate students, and you can take advantage of this on the Canterbury and the Medway campus. On the Canterbury campus, we have our sports centre, sports pavilion, plenty of sports clubs and societies that you can have access to. So those are run by Kent Sport. And then on the Medway campus, we have access to external sports facilities, gyms, swimming pools, all those sorts of things at Medway Park, which is a sports facility there. So absolutely fantastic opportunities to make sure that you've got accommodation on campus, and you've also got access to sport, which can be a real great way to kind of release any stressful situation or anything like that. So it's definitely worth considering us if that's something that you would like to take into account. Something else we are really looking into, so not only do we want to protect you on campus in terms of kind of physical, like one-way systems, hand sanitizer, social distancing, making sure we've got the right signage, we're making sure we're deep cleaning classrooms and everything like that. but we're also wanting to take care of you in terms of the support that we can give you to get through this kind of difficult time. It's not the same as it's been before, so we want to make sure we've got things in place to make sure you're happy and healthy, and you're being able to study in the way that you want to study. So in terms of the support that we can give you, we've got our Student Support and Wellbeing Department, our service, and they can support you with sensory impairments, specific learning difficulties, mobility difficulties, all of these different things. But also, if you're feeling a little bit worried about the situation at the moment, they are there to help any students experience distress from psychological, emotional, mental health issues, anything like that. They're there to speak to you. They are online at the moment, but they do one-to-one appointments online through something like that. Or if you want to speak to them in person, we are looking to get that set up as soon as we can, following the government guidance in terms of that. So you'll be able to speak to them on campus. Not only that, but on both of our campuses, we have accessible health services. So we've got a medical centre on our Canterbury campus and a pharmacy, a nursing service as well, which you can access on the weekends as well as the weekdays. And then on the Medway campus, we've got our Sunlight Centre Surgery medical room in the Medway building, and all the sorts of things like that. So you've got access to those. You can go and see them if you're feeling anything, if you're not feeling very well, if you need to speak to a doctor. Those are on campus. They're really easily accessible. We've got our chaplaincy as well to help you and support you where they can. So there's a chapel in Elliott College and a mosque on campus, on the Canterbury campus. There's a faith space on the Medway campus, and they've also got a chaplain. And then there's lots and lots of different faith societies, which can be really amazing in supporting people, especially if you're of faith, to speak to you and help you in any way they can. Of course, our students' unions are also there to support you. So if there's something that you don't feel you can talk to the university about, the Kent Union and GKS unions on the Medway campus are there to speak to you, to help you with academic, welfare, financial, housing, any of those kind of queries. They've got their advice centre, which is again running online for you and still available. As I just mentioned as well, we do want to support you in terms of your academic learning. We understand that this is going to be slightly different from what you're used to, from what we're used to, but we just want to reassure you that we have trained all of our staff in terms of online learning. We're not just doing online learning though. We have a blended learning system. So some of our teaching will be online and some of it will be in person. Most of that in-person stuff is going to be things like labs and work. We'll have to be in strict compliance with the health and safety measures that the government have put in place, but that will be happening. It will be interactive online learning, so you will be able to help with the discussion that you might be having in a seminar, and things like that may be in person, but they'll be in bigger rooms. So we'll pop those in lecture theatres where socially distancing is a bit easier. We've also got socially distanced study spaces available for you. So in the library and various study spaces on campus, we've made sure that we've got in place, the one-way systems, the socially distanced away from the computers and things like that. And we've made sure that there's kind of cleaning products so that you can clean your station after you've used it. But on top of that, that's just kind of normal academic support that we'll be giving you. You can reach out and find more academic support if you need it. So not only do you have your academic advisor, who will be there for you throughout your time at Kent, and they'll be giving one-to-one guidance. They'll monitor your progression. So that's something that we'll allocate to you when you start at Kent. Make sure that they're there if you have any questions. But they might, if you're struggling with the whole online aspect, or it's a bit difficult in terms of learning in any ways, or potentially you haven't learned in the same way being at school or college over the past couple of months, and you just like to talk to them about that and what you can do in terms of improving your study skills, they might send you off to the Student Learning Advisory Service. They have a wealth, massive amounts. They've been recording lots of different resources to find online for you, but they're also offering appointments with advisors, most online at the moment again. But again, there will be in-person appointments available as soon as we can get those sorted out. And I shouldn't forget to mention all of our online resources that you've probably been used to in school and college. So we've got our online learning environment, or Moodle. where you can access all of your lectures that will have been recorded, all of the resources that your lecturers and seminar leaders will upload, all of that kind of stuff you can find on Moodle. So not to worry about that kind of thing. And we've also got MyFolio and various other different online resources that you can have access to. We've got a whole list of those on our website as well if you want to have a look at see what we have access to. I know the library have put on a long list of different online resources that they've been able to access over these past couple of months. So definitely worth having a look before you start with us. I'm going to move on now and have a quick think about our social events and how we're dealing with that in terms of the current situation. So we've got our welcome events planned this year. It's not going to be the same as previous years, unfortunately, but we're doing our best to make it as kind of social as possible for you so that you can meet new people and feel the community feel that the University of Kent has to offer, even without as much in-person contact. So we've got our online welcome and induction programs that we've planned. These will be both academic, so helping you get ready for academic study, but also social events as well so that you can meet new people. There will be on-campus events that will happen in person, but these will have safety measures in place. And as you saw in the video at the start, we have an absolutely fantastic campus green on the Canterbury campus. And I'm sure there'll be some socially distant picnics planned in those kinds of spaces. And we'll do as much as possible within the kind of guidelines that are given. School events will be happening, as well as kind of global hangouts for international students. And then your colleges, so you'll be allocated a college, which is a little community that can help and support you throughout your time. But they'll also be planning events for you and your college. More on that, if you want to contact us, we can give you a little bit more about the college system and how that works. You might be wondering as well whether societies will be going ahead for this academic year. And I'm here to tell you that they are. It will be slightly different again, but basically the unions that run these societies, so Kent Union and Greenwich Student Union at Medway campus, will be looking after these, making sure that they've got a safe space to practice whatever they would do in those spaces. If you're interested in joining society, I'm sure they'll be releasing information at the start of the year about how they'll be running their different societies. But you can screen, I won't read out all of them because it would take me absolutely ages. You can see things like there, like we've got the Erasmus Society, Hobbycraft, which is student society, music, drama, comedy, quizzing, all sorts of different things. You can find a whole list on the website as well, so if you want to see those. Some of them do have a bit of a charge, other ones are absolutely free, like our academic societies are all free to join. So you can have a little bit of a conversation with other people on your course and things like that. We've also got our sports clubs as well. So you might be, again, wondering what's going to happen with those. They will be able to run, but they will have to follow guidance of their national governing body. So you can see we have quite a few different types of societies or sports clubs that we have, and they're all going to vary depending on how they can practice. But we do have absolutely fantastic sports facilities on our Canterbury campus, which have masses of space at the sports pavilion and sports centre. So we will be releasing more information about what's happening with those, but they will be going ahead as long as the government guidelines stay the same as they are at the moment. If you're interested in the arts, we obviously, with the theatres and kind of musicals and things like that not being open at the moment, those won't be going ahead, but we will be trying to go digital with all our Kent music things that we have going on usually. So we have choirs, ensembles and orchestras. All of those we'll try and make go digital. And then, of course, later on in the year, when these are able to open, so we've got our Gulbenkian Theatre and Collar Ferguson Music Hall on the Canterbury campus, and various different live music venues on the Medway campus. Of course, when they can open, those will open for you to have access to. And how could we miss this out? So eating on campus, we've got lots and lots of different places that you can eat on campus. Canterbury has lots and lots of different types of cuisine. So we've got a dining hall, which gives you kind of old school dining room kind of feel. We've got Mungo's, which is an American diner with burgers and milkshakes. Origins, which is Tex-Mex, all those kinds of things. Many different bars on campus as well. Those will be open. Some of them are takeaway service, but those will be open again on the Medway campus. A similar sort of situation. So we've got the Deep End and various other outlets. Some of them will be takeaway. Some of them you'll be able to go in like a usual restaurant or cafe. Now, we should mention also around getting around campus. It's really easy to do so on both of our campuses. There's really easy well-lit footpaths. It's really, you could walk to town from the Canterbury campus as well as the Medway campus. Medway, there's various different towns that you can reach by walking, but there's also buses as well. We offer discounted bus tickets, so that's going to be really useful. But it's really easy to walk. So if you don't want to get public transport at the moment, on the Canterbury campus, it's a 20-minute walk into the city, and there's a path that takes you all the way down there. So it's really easy for you to be able to do that. Again, if you don't want to get public transport, you might want to try out cycling. You might bring your own bike, and we have plenty of facilities for that. Or if you want to hire a bike, we've got Dr. Bike, who allows you to do that. And we've also got a cycling hub on the Canterbury campus, which helps you with repairs and things like that. So do get involved, do think outside the box with these kind of things. But what we have on offer is the ability to be able to walk and cycle places, to cycle to the closest coast and things like that. Let's take a quick look at the different areas before we come to the end of the webinar and give you some time to ask some questions. The Canterbury area is situated in Kent, which is known as the Garden of England. It's really close to the coastline, so 6 miles from Whitstable. You can actually cycle that, and there's a cycle path which goes all the way. So again, if you want to get out and about, we've got plenty of sites surrounding the University of Kent Canterbury campus, as I mentioned, so you can walk 5-10 minutes and you're in the middle of a field. There's plenty of little parks and wander around the whole campus. So it's a really great place to meet with friends, but socially distancing and make sure you're being as safe as you can. There are bars and restaurants, theatres and cinemas that will hopefully be open later this year, galleries and museums in the Canterbury city centre. Some of them are already open and you can go and access them, and they've got their safety measures in place. So it's a fantastic place to socialise down in the Canterbury city centre if you'd like to. And then we're only an hour from London if you need to get back there at any point. The Medway campus, again, has really, really lovely, beautiful open space. You can see the photo of Rochester Cathedral there. That's quite a nice area to go to if you need a big area of grass. And that's Rochester Castle on there, sorry. And then you've got the cathedral at the bottom. And that's quite a nice place to go. But there's also so many country parks around the Medway area. I actually live really close to the Medway area, and there's so many different places that you can go for a nice walk or to get out and go into a big, massive field. So it's really, really nice. We've got excellent transport links to London, again, from the Medway area, a range of theatres and cinemas, which will hopefully be open soon. And they've got the big Blue Water shopping centre, which is really, really close by. And they've got I know that they've got one-way systems in place, hand sanitizer. It's a really quite big shopping centre, so I assume it would be fairly easy for you to socially distance if you would go to Blue Water. So all of those things will be accessible to you, both campuses, really wide open spaces as much as possible, and everything that we can do we've put in place for you to get started in September. If you want to find out more about this, do go and have a look on our Safe Study Social webpage, and you can see the link there just on the screen. That's got all of the information that I just shared with you. But again, if you've got any specific questions, I can try to answer those. I'll take questions now, and I'll leave this on the screen so that you can take away our details of our website, our hotline number, and our email address as well. Wes, do we have any questions?
Oh, yes. The first question is, how is arrivals going to work? And I assume that's probably in light of COVID, they're asking that.
Yeah. Okay, so in terms of arrivals, we will be doing, if you're moving into accommodation, you will have to book a slot, and we'll be doing staggered arrivals so that we're not having everyone come at once like usual. You can find more information about that on the accommodation webpage. It's got all sorts of information about those who need to come in staggered arrivals, and also those who need to self-isolate if you're coming from a different country. In terms of the actual accommodation, that will be in households, so you'll be able to socialise with the people in your household. People from outside your household, you'll be able to kind of see them outside, socially distancing, all the normal rules in place. And then I've kind of mentioned already a bit about the arrivals events that we have going on.
Okay, so the next question is what's the teaching going to be like in September?
Okay, so as I mentioned a little bit, it will be blended learning, so a bit of online and a bit in person as well. In terms of your labs and your workshops, things that can't be done online, we will try to make those take place with health and safety measures in place. If we can't do that, we can move the module so that it's kind of next term or a time when things are a little bit more eased and socially distancing has eased a little bit more.
Okay, brilliant. Next question. I had Kent as my firm choice, but was made unsuccessful with my results from results day. But now that my new grades meet the conditions of the offer, what do I need to do?
Okay, all you need to do is get in touch with us. If you've got your new grades, your revised grades, do send them to admissions@kent.ac.uk and we'll review your application for you. If you've got any questions, just ring our hotline.
Okay, similar to that on the UCAS thing. My UCAS track hasn't updated, but I've submitted my clearing choice. Have I done something wrong?
Probably not. The best thing to do would be to call the hotline just so they can double check everything's okay with your application. But from what it sounds like we're just on our end, we're just waiting for us to verify your information and then it will update on your UCAS track.
Okay, next question is, will we need to wear masks on campus and around the university?
So there will be some areas where you need to wear masks. There will be signage in place in those areas, but outside and in all the open areas, obviously you don't have to wear a mask if you don't want to outside.
Okay, next one is, how do I find out if there are places available on the course I want to study?
If you go on to kent.ac.uk/clearing and you type in the course, it will say whether it's available in clearing at the moment.
And then the next one is about accommodation. Question is, how will I find out what accommodation I've got and be able to look around it?
Okay, so in terms of if you've applied and we were your firm or your assurance choice and you'd already applied for accommodation, you should already have been contacted to say kind of which accommodation you've got and all the information you need to know. If you've applied through clearing, you would have clicked yes or no to accommodation on campus. If you've clicked yes, we'll be in touch as soon as we can with your allocation. Unfortunately, you won't be able to choose which accommodation that you have through clearing, but you are guaranteed accommodation. If you want to have a look around, just go on our website. On the accommodation website, I think you can find the link to do a 360 rooms if you want to check those out.
And finally, how will we be allowed to socialise on campus?
Okay, so in terms of socialising, I mentioned a little bit about the societies which will be able to join. You'll also be able to join sports clubs, go centre. Some of the eating outlets will be open, available for takeaway, so you could take food away from the outlet and go and sit on one of our picnic benches outside if you'd like. There's various other things that we've got planned, different events, some online, some in person, but just keep an eye out on our social media pages and we'll share all of the events that we've got planned on there. And there's also plenty of information on the website as well.
That's it from the questions we've had come in so far.
Great, thank you, Wes. If you don't have any more questions, I'll leave it there. I'll play you a quick video of the Medway campus before you leave. But again, if you do have any questions, if you're not quite sure whether your assessed grades, sorry, your revised grades will have an impact for you in terms of studying at the University of Kent, please do give us a call and we will do our best to help you and support you at this time. Thanks again for joining and have a great rest of your day.